Alrighty, we're getting rolling here. Let's just let this come up. See if we got people watching before we go ahead and get started. So the only thing I don't like about YouTube is I wish I could get it going and then start recording, but it is what it is. Alrighty, Joy's here, so okie pokey dokey. All right, Joy, does this sound okay since you're here? Since the broadcaster got all messed up a couple weeks ago, I'm trying to finally got it straightened out, and I'm still working on getting a new one, but a different one. I mean, that one that I can run on my Mac and not here on the laptop, which is starting to get old. So, if somebody could just let me know that this sound is okay, and then we'll get rolling. Okay, sound is great. All right, so we'll kind of just hang for just a few more seconds. Let a few more people get in. This is going to be kind of our regular time for the time being, at least till January. So we'll see after the first of the year what I'm going to do after that. But we're going to just go ahead and do just kind of What's Up Wednesday. For those of you who've been around since ancient times, way back when I used to do What's Up Wednesdays on on YouTube, and I post something new each Wednesday. So we're kind of going to be doing that sort of thing. So my hair's annoying me today. It's raining. It got wet. I didn't have time to re-straighten. So anyway, basically with my live shows, I've kind of changed what I'm going to be doing on the live shows. In doing some research and giving this a lot of thought over the last several months, I am trying to find a more efficient and effective way to do the major projects, be them 3D or albums, or both in many cases. So just trying to find a more efficient way that works not only for me, but also for all of you. And it really has very little to do with the outstanding projects, because I literally have 3 projects that need a tutorial and the video's done. Yes, there is some miscellaneous ones that need just some little bits and pieces added to them, but I only have 3 major projects that still need to be, do the tutorial and the sample. This is wholly separate from any kind of shipping that needs to be done, and I'm making great progress on that as well. But this has nothing to do with that. As I had posted on Paper Doodles yesterday with my posting, there's 2 things that I want to clarify on that. The list that I showed there has nothing to do with what is maybe outstanding in terms of shipping, and it also is not the full list of things that need to be completed. It was merely the 3 major projects that still needed to be completed, and I'm on schedule for those to be completed in the time frame that I posted. I will post that same post over in the status tab over on my or the same information over on my website probably later this evening. But in a bit of a synopsis for those who aren't members of Paper Doodles and don't have that information, what we're going to be doing with our shows is going into the future. We will be doing any major project in kind of a course type format. We won't be doing those on the live shows. Those projects, the tutorials, the written tutorials, will be as available as they typically have been for years for my projects it's a written tutorial for 3D projects, and it is typically a video tutorial for the assembly of the pages and stuff for albums. And then what we've done in the past is done live shows for the albums for embellishing the pages. I rarely on the live shows have shown how the pages go together. And with 3D, it's assembling and embellishing the 3D projects on the live shows. In the future, those will go straight to a video or a series of videos. That way I can also break it down as I need to, or it's just a lot easier for you then to go back and follow, because you don't have to go through all the chit chat stuff. You don't have to go through things like this before you get to the part about the project, or me getting sidetracked or having to explain something separate or whatever. This way it eliminates all of that chit chat stuff, and it's just the videos showing the project. Now, as always, I want everybody to always remember about the videos. I do not have the videos as part of what you purchase. Though doing them this format, I may add a few bucks into each project just to cover the cost of that. I've always made my live shows videos available for the public viewing. I'm planning to do the same thing with these videos, is to make them still able to view by anybody. I don't want to make it those kind of videos exclusive. Now, the parts that I have that only those who purchase can see right now are going to remain the same. So the page construction videos for mini albums and that sort of thing are still going to be private in the paid tutorial section for those who purchase those patterns. Those won't be over in the public archives. Now, for the projects where I'm doing the videos for the assembly embellishment of 3D projects, or a project walkthrough of a mini album, those at this point, I'm going to see how this all goes. Those will be publicly available for viewing in the archives. And how this is going to work is both the pattern or tutorial. I've called them patterns because I came from the beginning, because I came out of the sewing world where we called them patterns. And I called them patterns for years here, but now people are calling them tutorials, so it's easier just to go ahead and go with the flow. So the tutorials, when there is a written tutorial or a video tutorial, as well as the sample and the videos, will all be together at one time before you even see the project. So when you see the sample of the project, you will be able to purchase the pattern, view the videos, and order any kits that I might have, order the papers for whatever I might have. Papers may still be coming out in a different time frame or schedule from that, but you will be able, once you see the sample, to order whatever's necessary, whether it's just the tutorial or you want the full-blown thing, and have access to how to create it right away. So you're going to be purchasing the entire, you'll be able to purchase the entire course, so to speak, of what all you need to do that project. So as a result of that, we have those three outstanding projects that I listed over on Paper Doodles, which is the last of the mystery book clubs, the last of the steampunk / fairy realm projects, and there's one other one that is escaping my brain right now. But those projects will all go straight to video. So I think it's the unicorn, which that's another one that I'm going to talk about here in just a second. But there are 3 projects, and those will all go straight to video. Oh, the conservatory, so that the unicorn is something separate. The conservatory. So the conservatory, oh wait, no, that's separate. I'm trying to I should have made myself some notes. The conservatory and the Nightmare Dream Bed, both of those are going straight to video and should be done by the weekend. I have both of them well underway, and so those should be available by the weekend for the 3D portion, next week for the albums. On a side note with the bed, all of the Nightmare Beds kits have shipped, and by the time you receive them, you should have access to the pattern and video. And that's actually getting it done sooner than it would have been had we done the live shows. For those of you with the dream version of the bed, I am still waiting for my Dreamland paper order, and as soon as the Dreamland paper gets here, those kits will ship. But I felt it was super critical to get the Halloween type one out sooner. So those already have shipped, and you should be receiving those at any time. The conservatory kits all have shipped, and I will also have the video and tutorial for that one coming up right away. The other ones, as I said, coming that are going to be done in that format are, I know that the third Steampunk / Fairy Realm and the last of the Mystery Book Club ones, and there's one more in there, and I'm trying to remember which that one is. So sorry, I just saw somebody, Margaret says it reminds her of the Princess and the Pea-Bit. It's not even similar, but okay. Anyway, sorry, it confuses me. I'm just trying to keep my train of thought going. So whether it's the past projects or future projects, just basically they are going straight to video, and you will have access to them for the future projects before you will be able to see the project and be able to access it at the time when you see the project. So there's not going to be, if I do an occasional sneak peek, but you're not necessarily going to know what it's all about. So so that's what's going on in the future with the projects. And we'll still probably do the same number of projects. I will be showing them on my live shows, the samples and that sort of thing, but we're not actually going to be constructing the major projects here on the live shows. On the live shows, for the time being, I am backing it down to just Wednesday. As you know, over the years, I've done many times, for many years, I did 3 shows a week. And I need to back that back for my own personal situation, for me, not even my family, but for me. So I'm just going to be doing Wednesdays through the end of the year, and we're just going to be working on projects. I mean, I may pull out a really old album and work on that. We may work on a new binding. I may show you just not that long ago, earlier this year, we did a couple of classes where we just did some tags. We might do that. We might do, with the holidays coming, some quick and fast little projects, that sort of thing. So Wednesdays, it's going to be just about basically kind of Wednesday potluck. It's like, you never know. Like 15 minutes before I came on is when I was gathering stuff and I figured out what I was going to do for today. So it's going to be sometimes fly by the seat of your pants. If I decide that a project needs an extra class, we'll do it again the next week. I might add a class sometimes on another day of the week. But I'll let you know that on the Wednesday that we're doing it. So this is just, where we're going here for in the future, because I'm finally getting traction and getting stuff caught up, and everybody's been incredibly patient. But I have to admit, it's worn me down to the absolute quick, trying to not only do past, but to do future. And I want to work on future, but I have to work on past. And it's like, it's been a little bit mentally worn me out. So I need to get these past projects done sooner rather than later. And it takes too long when I have to stretch them out over a month to a month and a half on the live shows. So if I can crank through them in a couple of days rather than several weeks, it gives me a greater opportunity to get them done. Because I would say a good year's work this last year has been just trying to juggle all of it. And it's like, I can't keep doing it. It's just not, I can't do it anymore. and I have so many cool new things that I want to work on. And if I do, I feel guilty, or I catch a ton of doo-doo from people. So I'm just, do that. And so this way puts me on track to have all the backlog done before the year is out, and then I can be fresh and clear of it all. I mean, there's really not that much still left to do. I mean, I think there's many people who think there's just tons and tons and tons just because they haven't gotten there yet, but it really isn't that much. It's just there's not enough hours in the day. Let's just put it that way. So, but anyway, I think this is going to be a good solution. It gives people some fresh new stuff, even if it's just quick and fast and simple on Wednesdays. Also, other than this one, today is going to stay on my calendar over on the website, but in the future, the Wednesday shows will stay on YouTube. And all of the coursework videos will be over on my website in the appropriate place, whether they're in for albums, they're in the paid tutorials, or for the 3D projects and album walkthroughs. Those will be over in the archives tab. So, but I'm doing the videos still. Like I said, even though those have never been part of what you purchase, those have just been kind of a courtesy, and I want to keep them that way. I still want to do them. I still want to make them available to everybody, rather than making them exclusive to those who do the projects. So we'll just see how that goes moving forward, and then maybe at the end of the year I'll reevaluate and decide what I want to do after the first of the year, if I want to continue with this format or if we want to go back to doing them during the live shows. So I haven't been reading the chat at all, so I have no idea what's going on. Oh, hello, Pamela. Let me back up here. Yeah, Pam's had super highs and super lows this last month. So, so anyway, alrighty, guys, we're gonna just keep on rolling forward. Oh, and one last thing too, while I'm thinking about it too, is also those of you who still hold reservations for Maple Street and for Once Upon a Time, in the next few weeks, I will be sending out an email to everybody kind of explaining what's going on with both of those series moving forward. So they're not ending, but there are some things that I want to do with both of those. And so I will be sending out an email in the future, here in the next few weeks, letting people know what's going on with both of those. Those aren't forgotten. And I want to clarify one thing. Trust me, there will be no projects that will be forgotten. It can't happen. I have too many people who will let me know if I miss something. So you don't need to worry. Nothing that I don't have 100% will be forgotten. It can't be. So and once I have all the past shipments out, I will let people know at that point that everything has shipped out. And if you haven't then at that point received something that you think you were supposed to, then people can let me know at that point. But I do get regular things of people saying, oh, I think this got forgotten. And it's like, it hasn't. I'm trying to do in terms of shipping, I'm trying to do it as efficiently as possible and not just bounce. I end up having to bounce around because people contact me. And so I end up having to pull out of my sequencing to get their shipped out. So just be aware, I'm trying to do it in an efficient a way as possible to get everything. And I will do everything in my power to make sure nothing gets forgotten in that as well. So, Anyway, that's what we're doing. So moving forward, we're just going to kind of have play dates on Wednesdays, and the projects will then be straight to video, but I plan to have the videos available in the archives. So does anybody have any questions about any of that? And this is kind of the time I'm looking at. This works well for me, is Wednesdays at 3 o'clock Pacific time, which puts it at, I think, 6 on the east, central, 4 mountain. And so, excuse me, that's my tentative plan, at least through the end of the year. At the end of the year, I'm going to reevaluate and look and see if this is the direction that we continue to want to move forward. Alrighty, so if no one has any questions, feel free to drop me an email if you have any questions about it. But that's where it is. I will, as I said, the post that I put over on Paper Doodles yesterday, I will take that information and also put it in the status tab on my my website, so people that aren't members of Paper Doodles can have access to see it. I'm sorry, Marcy. Chances are some will be in the earlier time, but this is the time through consistently that people have said works best for the majority. So, but the videos will be available afterwards as well. So I'm sorry you're not going to be able to make it other than today then, Marcy. Alrighty, guys. If there is no more questions, no worries, Monica. Alrighty, so guys, I'm gonna go ahead and switch cameras. Oh no, I'm not, because it's not set up yet. You would have just gotten to see the back of my computer. Oh, this is killing me. Having this arm up. I can't do that. Sorry. It's caught. Oh, that just about did me in. That's my right shoulder, and that was making me about want to cry. Why is it so hung up on things? My apologies. Oh, jeez. And my left hand protests. It does not like having to do this stuff. It says that's not my job. So sorry, you get what you get with me. I sit there and I see these YouTube videos and stuff from people that are so polished and edited and stuff, and it cracks me up. I got a comment on it. God, and my paper bag, the Halloween paper bag album from 10 years ago. I got a comment the other day and comment about, oh, you bounce around too much, you talk too fast, it's like those, oh, thank you so much. It's got 500,000 views, but hey, thanks for the feedback. But I'm like going, I appreciate, as I put the comment, it's like, I appreciate your feedback, but this video was from 10 years ago. And she says something about the the lighting, or it was the camera or something like that. And I said, this video was from 10 years ago, and technology was significantly different 10 years ago. But that, and also back in those days, which a lot of people don't realize, YouTube videos could be 10 minutes long. That's all we had. So all of my comments from the early days were like, you talk too fast. And I'm like, yeah, we had 10 minutes. So I don't know why I never thought to do it in multiple videos, but I never did. So you just talk fast. But we all did it in 10 minutes. Yeah, super happy scrapper. I agree. I'm just sometimes I'm flabbergasted. I mean, I blow them off anymore. It's like, whatever. They don't upset me. In the beginning, those things used to bug me. I mean, I find it humorous. I had ones like, I can't watch your videos because your fingers are crooked. Because yeah, my fingers are crooked. They've always been crooked. So, but it's like, and it's it's like I can't watch. It's just it's so upsetting to me that your fingers are so crooked, and I'm like going, well, A, you don't have to watch, and B, it's like I can't control that. It's people are just weird. So anyway, let me switch cameras now that I've finally got it set up. All right, there we go. Oh, Deborah, you didn't miss anything, really. All right, so just before, let me get my cough out, and I have nothing but melted ice. I didn't run down and grab something to drink. Oh, that's gross. So, back in the way back, in the old days, I used to do a lot of envelope minis. If you go back to some of my 2010 videos and stuff, I used to do a lot of. Now, see how my that finger, it goes up and over. My middle fingers are both crooked. See, they both lean. It's like, it's just, it is what it is. But yeah, no, it really bothered somebody to the point where they had to comment on it. So it was like, hey, whatever. So I just grabbed an assortment of different envelope sizes and such. And because I was playing when I was like, okay, what are we going to do today? I go, this is going to be the only drawback. It's like, what are we going to do today? So what I'm probably going to have is kind of a fallback album or something that needs to be embellished from, years ago or something. And we'll work on that as a fallback, or we'll set up an album and it'll be a fallback thing to work on when I can't think of something else right in the moment. So, now my Dr. Pepper's downstairs. If I get bad enough, Margaret, I'll run downstairs. So, but see, I was just playing with, okay, what can we do with some envelopes that, everybody wants giant size projects. Back in the day, half an envelope was a page size, It was like, that was not unusual for an album size. There literally were mini albums at those times. We'd have tiny little tags and all this stuff. So, then, I don't know, in the last 4 or 5 years, everybody wants, larger albums. And so, it's hard to do larger albums using envelopes. So I just thought, what else can we do to make them bigger? And I was going, what if we just kind of do, and I go, oh, wait, no, I had them this way. And I just go, oh, but I don't want pockets this way. And I go, but what if I go with this way? And I slip the flap of this one inside the flap of that one. And the same thing here on this back side. And so it becomes, that gives me a page with a pocket. Of course, I'm doing this out of black. So a page with a pocket. And it's a nice, excuse me. Now, fall is not usually the time for allergies, but both my husband and I are having some allergy problems. So I don't know what it is that does something in the fall. But anyway. All right, but on both sides, it gives us a pocket. It gives us a nice, so this is like an 8.5 by 9.5 page using 2 number 10 envelopes. We can hook them together like this. We can add some flaps and such with either other envelopes or with cardstock. But I thought, using 2 number 10 envelopes, that makes, a nice page size, and especially once it's actually physically attached together. But, you just turn one upside down and the other, and you slide the flap inside the pocket of the envelope. So I thought, that might be kind of fun. But then it's like, okay. And then I found some. What size are those? Using different. I found some envelopes that were like. Let's see, that won't fit because it won't fit inside. But so anyway, I found some craft ones too. So we can mix them. Have pages that are half black, half craft. So if I open that up, so you just take the folds where your folds are lining up. So there's the line of the fold. That one needs to tuck down inside. And these aren't exactly the same, but I probably put some pattern paper down inside of there anyway. So there you can kind of see how the pocketing works on it. So it has a pocket here, and this one's going to have the pocket here. Again, this one doesn't have as big a flap as the craft one does, but I'd probably put pattern paper down inside there, or I could just do some black cardstock in there as well. But that makes some pages, so we can make 5 or 6 of those pages. I also have some kind of weird green colored ones too. But maybe we make a few of these with the black and craft, and then I also have some 6x9. So maybe I make a couple pages that are slightly smaller. Or in terms of height. I don't know if maybe these are too big. Like I said, literally, I came up with this like 5 minutes before we started the show. So it was like racing around finding envelopes wherever I had them all stashed. So that just, so you get where you line up your pockets. So that makes a 9x12 page. So, you could combine some of these. So this, it's a lot longer. So it depends on what size. I kind of almost like this size better, because this gives more surface area here, and we could add some flaps. And I can also cut off whatever side's going to be at if I wanted it to be like an 11-inch, I could also cut off the side that I'm going to put to the binding. And so that then I shorten it down so that it's a little bit easier to make a cover for out of a 12x12. Though there's ways of doing it without that, but I kind of like this versus this size wise. So kind of an 8.5 by 9.5 or a 9x12 sheet. So these are 6x9 envelopes. A sec, I had to read back and I moved. I can't do one, they're different sizes, so I can't do one big and one small together, because then it won't fit in, it won't slip inside without having to trim it. Because see, they're different here. Here. Trying to show. See, they're different widths. So they can't really, I can't put one big and one small together easily. Well, I could, but to line up that, so I would have to trim. In order to slip this down inside, I'd have to trim it. But this does make it, if I did one big and one small, it would make it 10 by 9.5 by 10. So it's a smaller pocket. And then this would have to slip down inside. But I'd have to trim it to get it to slip down inside. So, but that is something you could do. It's totally doable. So, well, we're getting to that, Joy. You're jumping ahead of me, sweetheart. But so let's just say for grin's sake, we're going to put these two envelopes together. Because I kind of like this size. So this this 9 by 12. But then we can also be adding additional envelopes, as Joy was just so nicely putting, where you can add on yet another one, whether it's here as a flap, by using the flap of the envelope. You can add that on there. It could also get added on down into this pocket to where then, or even better, I think would be to do it this way. So there you have a pocket here, and this becomes a flap and a pocket, and so then you have the pocket here, the pocket here. So you could, add all sorts of things. The only problem with this is this is going to run into the problem of one of these edges needing to be the binding. So I'm just looking at this point to try to create a base. And I'm trying to decide whether I like the two-tone or if I want to go one-tone. See, I think I prefer it with the single tone, so we could have a couple of craft pages, and then a couple of black pages in there. So I have one up, one down, and they slip in to each other. Yeah, see, I think I like them all the single tone rather than the two-tone. Because then I could do something then still with this, is I could potentially trim that off. This could be a flap, whether it's one way or the other way. It could be a flap, it can be added on. You can also use some of these guys potentially as pockets. You can cut them. I have some smaller ones that we can add on there too. I have some policy style ones that could get added on for as pockets. And we can fold those up, and that can be a pocket, and a pocket. Maybe it goes over on this side, something like that. So we can do all sorts of fun stuff. So what size are these? These are to use with 5x7 cards. These are 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. Biggest part is trying to get these started on both sides, going inside. Oh yeah. So this makes it 10.5 by 7.25 by 10.5. That's a really good size as well. Using these, so it just depends on what size envelope. Now, because I'm going to slice one of them open to go onto my binding, it is going to be a landscape, more of a landscape format rather than the horizontal format, because then you have pockets upside down. So it definitely works best as a landscape format. I like that size too. I don't have any of that size in the craft though, and I really kind of wanted it to be somewhat craft. So it's a pretty significant size difference, but possible. But anyway, but I think it's a fun possibility. You could also make them in any size you want as well. So I really kind of like that size, and I like this style of envelope. But then I like this size. I don't know, larger or smaller. I already have Pick a Pocket mini album. My pickpocket album, that was one. It was about this big. It had horizontal, vertical, and diagonal pockets, and you could pick, mix and match and pick whichever one you wanted to do. We have one vote for the smaller. I'll give it a couple more seconds. I like the craft, but I also like the black. Maybe I'll do the smaller. Since only Crazy Lady Craft is jumping in and saying what size. I'll save the big ones for another project. I just, first off, got to see how many pages I can fit out of the number. I don't have a lot of those envelopes, so let's see how many I can do. So that only gives me 4 pages. So I wonder if I have some of those envelopes anywhere. Let me see what else I can find to go with these guys. Hang on 2 seconds. What else do I have? Well, I've got a couple of craft large envelope, but then I found these guys too, which are the same size. I wanted to see what this worked, how this worked with these really deep V flaps. It's a different kind of look because it has, you know, such a strange, I mean, so that's a possibility. It's the same, sort of the same. They're like a 1/4 inch taller and about a 1/4 inch. So I could have a couple of teal pages in there with a little bit different pocket style. So that's a maybe. So I like the straighter across type one. And then, or I could do something with these. To where I could have a couple of pages that maybe I fold up. Fold the pocket up. We'll go the other way around. So one side has the pockets, and one side has the flap. So it has a pocket here, and then you got an area here. So then this could be a pocket, or two pockets, because this is double thickness, so it can be a pocket here and then the pocket on the inside as well. So then those run a little bit shorter, which I have no problems with my pages being different sizes. So I could have a couple of these in with the 4 black ones. Yeah, no, I think I like it folded where it's this way. So it could go black, craft, and then this flips, and then black, black, craft. So maybe the front, this is the front of page 2, and the front of page 4 is this one. So, you know, goes that way. So maybe that's page 2 and 4, and these are 1, 3, 4, and 5, or 1, 3, 4, and 6. Or if you're doing 5, this is 1, 3, 5, and this is 2 and 4. So it just depends on whether you're doing 4 pages or 5. So if Salem is around now, Salem has a run of the whole upstairs now, so he is probably in sleeping with one of the bigger cats. Yeah, I know that the craft shows up better on camera. I try to hit it in the angle of the light so that you can see how it's going together. So we'll have some craft, and these are, I think they're 9 by 12. Yeah, these are 9 by 12 mailing envelopes in the craft. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get these stuck together. I haven't thought this part through yet, how we're going to get that. How we're going to get that accomplished. Because it's hard to tuck it down in there. They do kind of need to slide together. So, how is going to be the way to hook those together? Trickiness, trickiness, trickiness. I can do something to hook that there. And hook that inside there, so that I'm not having to worry about it in between the two. I think that's probably going to be the way to go. That's going to be the easiest, because otherwise it becomes kind of an engineering feat to do that. So maybe I'll cut some craft, like some strips that goes down inside, to attach those together. So I have 4 of those pages, so I'm going to cut 3/4 inch strips. I'll cut 4 of them. It doesn't have to go across the entire width, just enough to hold those in place. So, and we're winging this. We're doing this now. I didn't really have it pre-planned other than slipping those down its sides. So, this may work. We may have to regroup and redo it. So I'm going to cut these. So these are 3/4 by 4 1/4. And I need 2 per page for 4 pages. I know it's easier to see with a light of colors, and I apologize. But I don't have this size envelope in any other color than the black, and the larger ones were a little bit big. And these little craft strips, I'm doing them in craft so that you can see them on the black. I would probably, if I were doing this without doing it on the live show, I would do them in black so they don't show. But they won't show per se, so don't need to worry too much of it. That's it. So we may work on this one next Wednesday too, and I'll embellish it. Alright, so I'm going to take these. You could do these in glue. I'm just doing for speed's sake, doing them with the paper. And I'm going to kind of lift this up and see where the edge is. Try to do it somewhat straight. But see, I slipped. I should have checked and made sure that it was set first. Okay. So the reason I did this in craft then this time is so then when I show you, see how I've got that craft strip, and that's just covering over the edge of the flap. And then we'll do the same thing over on this side. There, so now that doesn't come apart. And so that gives us our pockets, and that gives us our whole page. Now, in order to get it onto a binding, I have to take, it doesn't matter which end because it's the same on both sides, and just trim off a sliver off of one end in order to make that a sleeve so that it can be slipped onto a binding. Okay, so we'll do one more of those. So one up, one facing up, one facing down. Get it straightened so that it's right at the edge there. So that's all good to go. Just slip these down inside, makes the pages nice and easy. That one wasn't very straight, but you don't know that. If I hadn't told you, you would never know. Again, one facing up, one facing down. Slip one inside the other. Very nicely. Okay, you guys are whack on the chat right now. They're talking about chocolate covered bacon, and I'm like, you know, no. This is working perfect for attaching these together. I heard about that pickle flavored stuff at Stampede, Leslie. I heard about that down here. It sounds gross, to be honest. All right, so let's trim these off. See, this is the kind of stuff I just love doing. There's no pressure, there's no deadline. It's just, we're just playing and having fun. And talking about pickle flavored candy. I've seen the pickle flavored chips, and that at least doesn't sound quite as weird as the pickle flavored. They had pickle flavored ice cream, I heard too. Oh, did I goof these up? I don't know. Oh, it's all the same. Okay. Just had to flip them over. All right. So there's those 4 pages. So let's get these all folded nicer. Well, the pickle flavored chips aren't a whole lot different than the vinegar chips. They taste very similar because, you know, pickle has got vinegar in it. So they don't taste terribly different from that. Alright, so I've got the flap and this on one side, and I folded this up to the same height. So it's to the, these are 5 or 7 1/4. So this is folded up, so it's 7 1/4 tall. But now I do want to cut the bottom off of this. So I'm just going to cut a sliver off of this, off of both of them. That's basically cutting the bottom off of the envelope. So then you have a pocket here and a pocket here, but I want this, the front part, to be a little bit lower. So I'm going to use this as a guide. And cut it along the edge of that glued down flap. So that's kind of attached. Now I do need to take off one side, but I want to fold this out of the way so I'm not cutting that open. So, and I just want to take just a sliver off. I mean, not even, barely, just enough that it opens it up. I mean, it's like a hair's width. I don't even want it to be, you know, a 1/16 of an inch. It's just, you know, as small as I can get it. You could also go in and just cut open the fold. Because I don't want this one to be too wide, and I want to leave this side as the side of that pocket. So, but that opens it up to go onto my binding, and you can still have the flap on it. And then I'll be able to glue this up here, and so that will give me 2 pockets. So let's go ahead and glue that. Okay, I can't reach with that arm that far. I just bought a brand new glue. It helps to take the top off. So put glue on each side, touch that down. So that gives me 2 pockets, and then on this side it's got the flap with the pocket, and this will be the side that I bind it to. So now for the second one, so if this one's open on this side with this side up, I want to open up on this side for this one because I want them to be mirror images of each other. Okay, so I'm going to open up this side. So let's fold that out. Take that little sliver off. I mean, the narrowest you can possibly do is to open it. If that means opening it up and cutting down the fold, then you're not taking much off. That's even better. I mean, this is a sliver. So then the same thing, to open up the pockets, I'm going to cut this open. And then I'm going to use this glued down flap as my guide, or approximately between 3/4 of an inch and an inch down. So then we conclude, and so this one is open on this side, this one's open on this side, that way they're mirror imaged. I'm also thinking we could also attach one of these just number 10s, or even better, I've got some of those these guys. Since I've got length, so I could put like one of these policy envelopes to where this flaps hangs out a little bit, so it sets on there. It could even be, I could glue it to where it's a pocket from here, but then it's also a pocket here by being a partial, so I can do a U shape and then a U shape. So it's, so maybe here I do like to 6 inches. Maybe it's 6.5 or 6. So then it's got 2 3/4, but you can have a longer tag because it can stick out. Because since we have extra length, see, so you could have it stick out and it's not going to extend beyond. I kind of like that, to where that glues on that way, like so. And then it's a pocket here and a pocket obviously inside, but then it's also a little pocket that you can get into from here. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to want to mark it 6 inches. And I was going to say 6.5. Let's make it. Let's make it at 6.5, because that still leaves me 3 inches there. So 6.5. And this is just a standard policy envelope, which is a number 10. It just opens at the end versus. Okay, so I've marked it. So I'll do a glue and a U shape here. And so it's a U shape at the end. But I do need to mark it. So if I'm going to come up 1/8 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch, I need to mark on the back where the edge is so that I don't extend my glue too far beyond that. Alright, so we're going to do glue right on my line. And then along this top edge, I'll go this entire bottom. Nope, that's the wrong size. That's how it goes. This edge. That's not the top bottom or top, that is the bottom. So it needs to go along the end. And then the other one will be a mirror image of this. Because I want it extending beyond the fold side and not the open side. So it goes, there's the U and there's the U. So we can attach that down, and I'm coming in 1/8 of an inch from the bottom and from the bound edge side. So now the policy pocket is still full length. It's a pocket that's this wide on this front, and then from the end it's a little pocket right there. And then we've got these pockets here. So then when this is in front of one of these pages, you can see how, even though this is only a 3-inch deep pocket, I can have a deeper tag sticking out of it because of this. In fact, it can extend even beyond this page. So now this one, we're going to do the same thing with our policy envelope. Only it's going to be the opposite direction, because this one's open on this side. So I'm going to have my flap of my policy envelope on the side opposite the opening. And that way they're mirror imaged. So then I can do 6.5 again. And draw that. So then this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge, and obviously that. So here and here, and it'll flip up and go like so. So that you don't glue in the wrong place, adding those little markers like I just did helps me to know where I do glue and where I don't glue. Eighth of an inch in, 1/8 of an inch up. And see, with this one, I forgot to mark. So I gotta wipe that glue off of there. Alright, so we can then have, let's see, let's go with this one at the beginning. So it's going to go page 1, page 2, page 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. So if we're doing a stack the deck type of binding. So 1, 2, 3, but actually at the middle, have them switch 4, 5, 6. So that way it mirrors from the middle. So see how I did? I have the pockets on opposite of each other here in the middle, where this is the only place where two of this style page hit each other. So, and if I wanted to flip it, it just depends on how you want to do it. So if it does it where you've got the pocket and the pocket with this guy in between it, and then the two pockets on the outside. This is the pocket, so this one, and it's real easy, you just flip it. There, so now they alternate. So that gives us the 6 pages. I mean, at this point, if you like doing your pages inside the book, you can attach it into your book. Now I've got 6 pages, so I'm going to do a stack the deck type of binding where there's an even number. If I were doing T-square binding, I could still do 6, or I can do an odd number if I want. Yeah, I've never done Margaret, that's been a problem since I named it Stack the Deck in 2011. It's the letters don't lend themselves to. So all right, let's see, what other things do I have here? I know I have some smaller craft envelopes that have potential that I could use on here. Let me grab those. They're a little bent up. I have a tub of all sorts of envelopes and that sort of thing. So, because this could also be something, it could be flapped on. I could see this going like right here. It's flapped, so it's a pocket here. It could also be a pocket here. It will cover over this. So that has potential to be flapped on there, or I could run it kind of close to that. So it's a large pocket, a little pocket, a pocket, and then this works as a flap, and then this is a large area or something else. So, you know, I have 4 of these, so each one of these black pages could see, that could fit, and it just fits nicely inside of there to where this could be a pocket into there. Could still be, so this pocket could be a double pocket because I can just glue this down on these sides. So then it's a pocket in the front of it and a pocket in the back of it, and it's got a flap, and there's got a pocket inside of there. I like that for one. I could also do something with these guys. So I'm going to keep that on there. This is also something that could get flapped on. So then you have that, or it could be flapped up from the bottom. And that's a pocket with a flap. You can flap on down. You can flap from one side or the other. Let's see, do I have, so I have 4 of these. One I can do on one each on a page, and I can do a crafty one. I could also see doing something with a flap here. I can fold that up there, it could be flat, or it could also go on this way. Maybe leave the pocket on the front and flap it. So everyone gets a little one. I'm going to do two that get a big. Two of them are going to have these, and two of them will have the craft number 10. So each one gets a craft and a policy, and a craft and a big. So this one's going to have the policy. So on the front I have this guy. And here. Or I could not do the craft, just have the little crafts and do black, so I stay with the black on there. I kind of like this flapping. Or do I like it flapping here? I could also seal it so that it's just pockets. So I seal it closed and flap. I like that. Okay, so let's get rid of the big and the number 10s in the craft and do those in the black. So there's a little craft accent, but not so quite so much. Okay, so two of those and two of the black. So everybody gets a big one in a craft or a number 10 in a craft. Alright, does that make sense? Probably not. I'm just blathering away. Yeah, it's a great way to just use up envelopes and stuff. So, okay, so I like this with the craft on the front side. And this overlaps very nicely because of the envelopes I have. It overlaps on each side to where I can just attach to this. Makes it a little bit narrower pocket, but if it attaches to that, then I have the full width pocket back behind. So all right, have fun, sweetie. Drive careful, okay? Okay, so I center that just like that. I'll line my folds up with the fold of the other ones. And I just did it, just the glue was just down here at the ends. Because the flap of this envelope, see how it tapers slightly? So I didn't want it to run out of glue. So it's just up here, because I can always add paper over the top of that slips in just inside of this to attach it. So that gives me a pocket right here. I mean, it's using the same pocket space. It's this flap then becomes a divider, and I've got a full pocket there. And so then I've got a pocket there. So it's like 1, 2, 3 pockets just on here, plus these 2 surface areas to do some fun stuff on. So then on the back side, I think messed up. I'm going to want that to hinge. Kind of like this idea of this being 2 pockets. Then it hinges over like a flap. I could do it center because I want the pockets or that those sticking up. I think I'm going to hinge it over on this side. So it's about 1/8 of an inch in and about 1/8 of an inch up from the top. So that means I'm going to seal this closed. Now I always use my glue. I don't use the adhesive that's provided by the envelope. First, it tastes gross. Run that along the edge of that. So glue that closed. Now I'm going to cut a sliver off the end so that I can slip in a hinge, but it doesn't have to go into the outside. If you want it to show on the outside, then you don't need to slit this open. But I'm just going to slit this open so that I can fit a hinge inside so that it hinges. And then I want my pockets up on the top. So let me just mark. So I'm going to allow some from that. So if I'm going to allow for the opening there. So if I've got 9 inch, so 4.5. So if I go 4 1/4. Okay. So I'm going to, this is a fold down here. So I'm going to come down 4 1/4, and then I'm going to leave a 1/2 inch, and then another 4 1/4, and that leaves just under 1/2 inch. So I'm going to slit that open between those markings. And just a sliver. Actually, I might come down about 1/8 of an inch. So then I snip it down that 1/8 of an inch to my cuts. So that creates, by having that little divider there, it creates that little divider. So that leaves me two pockets, and I've left it down here at the end that's close to a 1/2 an inch that allows for me to glue in my or actually I might actually just fold that and have that be my hinge. That's what I'm going to do. I actually wanted this could be the one back in the back because I didn't want, well, it really doesn't matter, it's going to get covered over. I probably would have I've done it to where the smooth side was up rather than the flap, but it's fine because it's going to get covered over with paper anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Alright, so rather than creating a whole new hinge, I guess I didn't really need to sliver that off because it's I'm going to use my envelope as a hinge anyway, so pretend I didn't slice off the end. So we're just going to pretend. Okay, so I gotta glue this back closed again since I cut it open. So it's open from the end to that center, and then from the fold of my hinge. So if I wanted it, I could actually have it come from this end and open, or from this. Well, I like it at this side, so we're gonna hinge it on that side. So this is going to be about a 1/2 inch-ish hinge. And I'm coming up 1/8 of an inch up from the bottom. and 1/8 of an inch over from the side. So then that's going to allow for a couple of tags. So there's 2 pockets and a pocket and a large area. So there's page 1. We've already got page 2. Okay, page 3 is going to have one of the craft ones and a large black envelope. So I'm going to keep it black on the side, and so I'll put this one on the back side. So keep it black. It's different shades of black, but keep it black towards the craft page. So this can flap on here. I'm going to have the pocket out at the front, so that could hinge inside. Kind of like that hinging, so that's just a pocket here. It can hinge up. Have area there, the pocket, and an area there. So, okay, so I'm going to do that. So I flipped this back behind. I'm going to fold this so that it's 1/8 of an inch at the top and the bottom. So I'm going to unfold this, and I'm going to trim this down to where it's only, the amount of the flap is only like 1/2 inch, so that it is more of a hinge. It's not the flap. Now see how this is at a little bit of an angle? I'm going to do that same thing down at this end. I'm going to notch it both ways like so. That, I probably shouldn't have cut that off on that one, but that works. Oh, actually I'm going to cut this because I want it shorter. So I'm going to cut this for this pocket. I'm going to cut it right there. Like so. So then I have the pocket, that whole width, and then I'm going to have a pocket right here, and it hinges, and I'll put the edge of that hinge on the edge of the pocket here. So then I've got that pocket. So there's 1 pocket, 2 pocket, 3 pocket, and I probably have this one extend out. So then I have a nice large surface area under here as well. So let's go ahead and glue this guy down. And this envelope is one of the 6 by 9 envelopes. So this one's a 6x9. And I folded it so the height of it, I had an 1/8 of an inch at the top, an 1/8 of an inch at the bottom. So it's like so. And I glued that right along that edge where I cut that flap down to that 1/2 inch. So here's that little tab, and then I trimmed this off so that this can get folded up and form a pocket, or it can be actually 2 pockets if you wanted to open this up. I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave it the double thickness. So if I'm going to do that, I want to glue this closed down there at that end. So I'm going to glue on this little edge. You can also put tabs if you prefer to make it the full width. You can put either outside or inside. Outies are any tabs, so they don't show. I'm shedding hair. I have a lot extra to shed, so let's stop doing that. Okay, so that gives us a pocket, and this flips out of the way, and there's a pocket and an area there. So that's the front of page 3, and the back of page 3. I'll be using one of these guys. I could just go right or tuck down inside of there, actually. Because you could still have something that slides in, it pulls out, and this gets to be a pocket back behind it. So I can tuck that in a little ways so that this becomes a pocket and it can extend. I can even tuck that all the way down in there, or as far in as I want, because then I could have something slipping in, and this can flip up, or I can have it in the center. I like it down. I'm leaving about a 1/2 an inch there. And we can extend, or I can slip it to where it's just inside. Kind of like that too. Because this could have the pocket, and this could actually flap over. I could extend it, and it could flap over to hold both of those, and then still be a pocket there. That's what I think. I think I like it tucking just inside there. So I'll glue this down in a U shape, and it'll tuck just inside, but down towards the bottom. So 1/8 of an inch up from that bottom edge down here. Stick that down. So then this is a pocket here. Beep, beep, beep. And this is a pocket here. And see, I can have this become a flap to where something's tucked in here, and then this flaps over both of them, and I may extend it down to about there. So, but anyway, this gives us the base for it. Just like I have to. Okay. All right, so that gives me page 3. So now page 4. And I think I'm going to do something with my envelope. So I have the craft and the craft. I'll do something with the envelope. On this one. Maybe it'll hinge here. Because then that could go over anything coming out of here. There's something there, there's something there. Or I could have it hinging there so that those line up with each other. I like having this big area here. I think I want this to hinge here. And I may just set this knowing that I'm going to hinge at this edge here. I'm not going to attach it down just now because I may use some of my pattern paper to hinge it. So for the moment, I'm just going to slip this inside so that when I'm papering this one, I can do that. Okay, so on this back side then, because I have a black policy here, I think I'm going to use the larger one. And that works out fine. So the 2 larger ones are to the middle, and then this will be on the last one. So I could have that hinge and have this flap, and I could actually extend this flap down. But having this hinging then from the bottom. Let me grab some black to hinge that with. Here somewhere. Since I have this out, I can go ahead and cut the hinge for the previous page and maybe just do it that way. Alright, so that works out. I can do that across the width of it. And this is a 1-inch piece. I'm just going to score it in half. You guys are so funny. Alright, so we're going to attach this to the back side here. Some score tape. Alright, so that's the bottom edge. So we're going to line the fold up with the bottom edge of the envelope. And I've got about 1/4 inch. Okay. So line that right up with the edge of that envelope. And then I'm going to figure out where my placement is going to be. I want it to be up 1/8 of an inch from the bottom edge, but I want to mark. Here's where the fold is. Here's where that edge of that is. So I want to mark and notch that out. And the reason I'm notching that out is so that I still have the full width there. See, we've got this little flap here, and I'm notching it so that I still have that little flap there, and so I still have the full width. So that's why I notched that out. So I have 1/8 of an inch up from the bottom edge. So that's going to fold in out of the way and lets me have, if I had it in the placement that I needed it, but of course I was trying to do it from the top where I didn't see it. Oops, that's not the side I want to have. The underside. Try to do this without destroying my envelope. Now I know a lot of you like undo stuff. This is just the way I've always done it. If you guys have been around for a while, you know this is the way I peel it off. See, if I'd have glued it, I could have just slipped it over, but no, no, no. I decided I was using the tape. I'm not going to tear my envelope. Too late. I tore it a little bit, but you'll never know. Nobody tells, okay? Nobody tells. Okay, so I'm at 1/8 of an inch up. Then I can line that up. There. Much better when I can see. Alright, so then there's a pocket, and I can extend the flap so it's almost like an accordion. When I do my pattern paper, I can extend my flap. This is a flap, large area, and now you can see by having that little notch, I can do a tag that goes the full width into there. Okay, so that is that page. I've already got this page. Then this last one, we have a policy envelope for here and a craft one for the back side. This isn't a policy, this is a number 10 envelope. So I could have it to be where it's a little pocket there. And then I could cut it half and have another pocket over here. Or I could have it be a pocket here. What did I do in the first one? I just don't want to duplicate. So it's, the pages are all the same, it's just what you do with them. So you can see how it's the same sort. Okay, so I did it as a big full one. Okay. So I'm thinking Y'all might remember me doing this with some the tall envelope album. So then I would have a pocket. And I'm going there. I don't want to have to go in again. So let's move it over to this side. You can have it a pocket there. You could also go on this side so that I still have that area. And then it can be a pocket on the inside. So that could be, I could split it open, have a pocket there, a pocket here, and a pocket in here. I think I liked it better just doing a little pocket here and another pocket over here, and that's what I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to seal this closed like I did before. Oh, that's a good name for it, Deborah. Pocketbook album. I like that. I think you've named it. All right, so I'm going to then cut a 3-inch piece of this. 3 inches off of one end. Actually, okay, how much do I have? How much space do I have? It's 3.5. I'm going to leave it at 3 inches. Now I'm going to do something that we used to do all the time back in the old days. I'm feeling so old. So I'm going to come over 1/2 inch. Down 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1/4. So if you take your your little pocket that we made out of an envelope, and I'm going to cut 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. So I've just marked those. I'm going to take and fold that down. So then I can lay this on here, and this becomes a pocket here, and I can have it be a pocket back behind it as well. But it makes for kind of a cute little opening to the pocket. And then I'll do the same thing on this one as well. I mean, I measure it. You can just cut it, and you can make it bigger if you want. Your little flapper thingy. You can cut it whatever size you want it to be. I just do it about 1/2 inch down. So that's going to go right there. And I think what I'll do is I'll just hook this one down in a U shape down in towards the corner. So it's a pocket there, and then it's a pocket back behind it that's open at the top and the side. That's kind of tempting to do on this one too. That way I can slip something in, and then it's a pocket here. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, these are both going to be L-shaped. So along the bottom and the side, we'll glue that down. So it's an L pocket. So it's more of a tuck pocket. So 1/8 inch in and up. So that way you can slip something in there like so. And this is also going to be a tuck pocket over on this other side. 1/8 of an inch in and up. Okay, so that has the all black, and then here on this side, we've got one more of these to do something with. So that could be a pocket, and a pocket, and then I could pop this up. Wish I could do it closer to the edge, because then this could be like a belly band. I'll just glue it down each side so that something can slip through there. Maybe that's why I do want it in a little bit, like so, because then it can be, like I said, it can be just glued on the side, so it's more of a, it's a pass-through type thing. And when I paper it, I can extend beyond. So then this bottom fold is 1/8 of an inch in from that fold. You know, and then I can still add more flaps and stuff as I'm doing. I kind of like that. So to attach that down. So I'm just going to glue it along. It's going to taper, but that's okay. Actually. I don't mind it tapering. I was going to try something, but I don't mind it tapering. So center it. And I'm 1/8 of an inch over from the fold. Center and top and bottom. That puts us in, no, 1/2 inch-ish or so, 5/8 of an inch in from this edge here. Oh, I think I already have one called a Flip Flap album from a million years ago. I like pocketbook album. So then, as you can see, then it's a pass-through pocket on the back side. It's a pocket here, it's a pocket here. So that becomes the back. So it gives us all of our pages that quickly. And they're all different, yet they all started from the same base. And that's what I like to do. And it's all done, other than those a couple strips of cardstock for the hinges, it's all done from envelopes. So you've got a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, and an area. And then this back side's got a 2 pockets and a pocket and an area. So there's 3 pockets on each side. Pocket, 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 pocket. So it's got a lot of pockets. So pocket, pocket, flap to a pocket in a large area, and a pocket, and a pocket, and a pocket. Same here. This is going to flap hinge on there, and so it's a pocket and a pocket in there, and this will fold back up on itself. And I think I want to hinge this with a cooler looking hinge for my pattern paper. So we'll just slip that then down inside there for now. So then this one hinges up. It's a pocket. It's got a pocket there. I could actually keep that as a pocket here on the front. Now that I'm seeing this, have this be a pocket. Have this be the attachment tab. I'll trim this off tab and put a pocket on this back side of this. And I like that idea. So we'll do that when we're covering it. So then this is still the same, just a mirror image of the page 2. And then this last page, which we just did, a tuck pocket, a tuck pocket. So we used one envelope to create 2 pockets, and then you got a pocket here. And then this will flip over, and it's a pocket, it's a pocket, it's a pocket. So that, even though there are 2 page styles, every page is different, and we've just used envelopes for those. Now, we could have inked these if we wanted to prior to attaching them, but I don't necessarily ink my base stuff. I just ink what I attach on top of it. So the pages are all good to go. I think we'll continue on with this one next Wednesday. I'll get a cover and binding put together and put it in there. So then we can kind of play with doing some other stuff with it. Whether we continue it on the next Wednesday, don't know yet. That's one thing that I'm not going to hold myself hard and fast to any rules of what we're doing on Wednesdays. So anyway, that's what that one is. If I can edit my video down to where I cut off all the beginning part of this, I'll put this up on YouTube, but I don't know if I can edit that off. So anyhow, come on, open that one up. I'm trying to switch cameras. There we go, finally. So anyway, so hopefully this is going to work out for people where we're just kind of playing on Wednesdays. No pressure, no deadlines, that sort of thing. That Wednesday's more just me less stressed. And so I'm excited about that. And as I said, all projects will then be on video. You also in the future, not necessarily right now with the projects that we've got going currently, some of the past projects that we're adding on, that sort of thing with this system. But in the future, you'll be able to even view the videos prior, before you purchase the pattern, or if I have kits available. You'll be able to watch the videos, decide if it's something that's, for you to be able to, to want to do. I do have some questions still as to whether people still want kits in the future, or if you just as soon put your own materials together. I would say moving into the future, my projects will be probably 60 to 75% my own papers, to 25 to 40% printed papers, just because with my own papers I can make the papers to go with the theme of whatever it is I'm doing. I'm not tied to just what's available. So but I'm not really sure if people even want kits in the future. So I'll probably put a poll up on that over on Paper Doodles to see if that's something in the future, because I don't want to invest a lot of time, energy, and such into kits if people don't really necessarily want kits. They just as soon have the tutorials and the papers and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if people are still into doing kits, or if people just know they have such a backlog in their own in their own workspace that they don't want to add to it. So yeah, sometimes a paper will inspire a project. For instance, the Dreamland paper from Graphic 45 inspired the bed project. And it was while we were talking about it on one of the shows that the Nightmare project popped in. And so, it's just, but I don't know in advance what papers are going to be coming out. So And I'm having troubles with the Dreamland getting it here just because I don't have my paper order. So I can't do that sample just yet. So in the videos, I'm kind of just talking you through that part of it. I'm showing how it constructs together, but the papering, I'm kind of showing the Nightmare one and talking about the Dream version just because I don't have the paper yet. But that's always how I've worked many times, is the papers will inspire a project, or if I get a project, then I have to, there were years ago that I used to have to wait. I used to have to set a project aside just because there weren't papers available until there were. And so then when I started doing my papers, I'm not tied to that. But I also know some people either A, don't like printing their own papers, or B, don't have the ability to print their own papers, or C, only want 12 by 12 papers. So it's, you know, it's hard. I don't design my papers 12 by 12 just because A, I'm not printing them. I'm alphabetizing a lot. Because I don't print them, and because there's a limited number of you who have a capability of printing the large format. So, but I know there's some people that just have never done it and they're cautious. I've gotten to where it's like, when I was working on the graphic 45 on the Conservatory album, it was like, oh wait, I got to be really miserly about how I use this paper because I can't just print more, and I don't want to order a whole nother pack of it. So I know I think differently when I'm using printed paper versus my own papers, because my own, if I need more of it, I can just print more. So, alrighty guys, it's been a pleasure, and I'm glad, I'm hopeful that this time, I know it doesn't work for a couple people, but there's never going to be a time that's going to work for everybody, unfortunately, which is why I've always had the videos available. The video for this will be available on the calendar on my website. So if you go to the schedule, you will see the calendar, and you see the date, today's date. You click on that, and the video will be available to view there. And then once I don't know if this time I'm going to put it down into the archives, because I got to figure out what we're going to call this. If we're going to call this the Pocketbook album, as Debbie has named it, or I'll come up with, if I come up with another name. But until I have a name, I can't really put it down into the archives. So anyway, it'll be available right here after the show, within the next 10 minutes or so, on my website. Again, it's in the schedule under the date, and you'll see it there. So I may make a section for Wednesday shows where they go in there in the archives. So and it'll be under the date. Maybe that's how I'll get around that. But again, in the future, just because I have so much other extraneous stuff that I talked about that I don't really want it over on YouTube, I won't put this one over on YouTube unless I can figure out how to off the front end. But future projects on Wednesdays will be available on my website, but also it will be live over on YouTube. Alrighty guys, so next Wednesday, it'll be a full week, which is going to seem weird, but until I am fully caught up, I can't do more than a show a week. I'm worn out. I'm completely worn out. So I'm getting old too. So but I think that's going to work tons better. So I'm excited about it. That way I'll just do the videos as I can. I can break them down, and it'll be a lot less actual viewing hours doing it this project method, because you won't have all the chit chat stuff. It just gets, which I've had complaints about this stuff for years, is people goes, I hate all the chatter and I have to fast forward through all of that. I wish you would just not chat so much and just do the project. So those people will be happy on the video. So anyway, Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna let y'all go. Everybody have an amazing week this week. Have a good weekend this coming weekend. And I can't believe it's getting almost to the end of October. Where has this year gone? Oh, it's just going too fast. So, but anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys all again next Wednesday. Any questions you have, always feel free to drop me an email. I do ask that you ask questions about projects, about orders, about anything like that, via email direct to me, and not via Facebook on the group, a comment on the group. You can also, if you need to Facebook Messenger me, you can always do it that way as well. But I just prefer it to be that one-on-one conversation so that I can get the information that you need and not disrupt everybody else as well. So anyway, I've got a bad tickle in my throat, so I'm trying to push through that. So anyway, everybody have a great week. Thank you as always to Lois and to Joy for their help and assistance. And if Pam is still here, let's kind of let life chill out a little bit. So you need to just kind of be able to. So anyway, alrighty, guys, we will see you next week. So peace out. Love y'all bunches. Bye for now.